with the creative potential of stimming and fidgeting. There is a long story of how we ended up in a room together, but we're not going to share that. We thought it would be more fun to invite you to be part of this in a more embodied way by showing it off rather than talking about it. So we're going to start with Trisha's part of the workshop, and then we're going to move into my part of the workshop, and then I'm going to invite you all to be part of my part of the workshop if you want to, but there's no pressure.
and we'll facilitate that.
But overall, we were exploring the possibilities of the joy, the healing, the comfort, the exploration of fidgeting, and fidgeting with bodies and spaces and objects. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I wanted to mention too that just thinking of how we eased into it, I just did a warm-up with people, but what was interesting is really that piece around understanding that our bodies are sources of creative potential, that the impulses, the things that to get away from any kind of a medical model and to be able to see us as resources that provide really interesting ways of performing, of making, of creating sound, it's really cool.
And thinking of fidgeting and stimming as a political act
Yes.
and a creative act,
Yes.
rather than a medicalized act or a lack
A
or
lack.
a need.
Yes,
As Sam
thanks.
said so beautifully this morning, right? This kind of reclamation of our ability to repeat and gesture and move with objects, with our bodies.
Absolutely.
And what it shows about our difference and our diversity and our creative potential, I guess.
Absolutely,
We're filling in because we want Allie here, but she's not quite here yet.
Are you going to join us, Allie?
Oh, you are there.
Yes, she
Oh,
is.
please come and join us. All right. So Trisha was going to do a little
okay.
piece
Well, they want to do
first.
it in the order?
Turn off the light. Is it really right if I turn the light off? I'll show you what it looks like.
Lachlan's going to join us as well.
It looks like this. Is this okay for everybody?
Yes?
Yeah, nobody's uncomfortable?
Oh, you're going to sit? Okay. Yeah,
Sorry, Allie, I didn't see you.
Allie needs to sit.
I was the last one.
Okay, all right.
Our muscles give out after.
So the second half of the workshop, as I said, was about stimming, but it was more than that. It was taking stimming, which has been done many, many times in theater practice, and turning it into what is known in viewpoints, which is a theater practice that helps actors and performers use ensemble and use movement as a way for people to get them out of this, talking head scenario. And what it is very, very simple. So we looked at expressive movement, which is very different from behavioral gesture as opposed to expressive gesture. Expressive gesture is more internalized. It doesn't necessarily have to make very much sense to anyone, even the people that are involved. It ultimately does, but certainly not at the beginning. And so expressive gesture is internal. The gestures that you make, it could look like stimming, but it doesn't necessarily have to have an external meaning. Whereas behavioral gesture is like, hey Maya, and so you have to have somebody to interact with, and people know what that movement, they know what that gesture is. And it's very beautiful, like the work that everybody did, and it's nice that there's an audience because they actually couldn't see. So I often work with music, and there's many.
Do you want the music?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
So oftentimes repetitive music, like I said with Philip Glass, Steve Reich. This is our part, and it's Spiegel im Spiegel, mirror in the mirror. It has to do with kind of infinity, which is really great. And so I was just sort of leading them through this little practice. Yeah. Okay, and they were standing.
Allie and I both need to sit.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this, obviously people can sit, stand, lie on the floor, but if you can see everybody and see all of their faces and their bodies, it works, I find it works really well. So just listen to the music as we did before. So just begin, and we're all slowly going to move our heads to the right. And then slowly move your head to the left. And then look up and around. And back to the right. And then back to the center. And then anybody can choose any kind of stimming motion that they would like to use, or you can just sit or stand there. You're not required to do necessarily anything. And then some people can stop, or some people can do the stimming faster, or bigger, or slower. And then everybody breathe in. Take a big breath, breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. And then very quietly decide, you can start with a whisper. You can have a phrase, somebody's name, somebody that you say, someone or something that you want to say. Make the whisper a little louder.
It's lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
And if you can, much louder.
Such a love. Such.
And then faster and
Thank you.
faster. And you can remain loud, or you can really be soft, have a nice little whisper again, or actually say nothing. And then take a nice big breath again. And breathe out. And then just with Ali, just start. You say whatever you were saying, and then Pam, and then ending with Rebecca. And then when Rebecca's finished, say what you were saying all at once.
Blue eye.
Oh, now I feel like I'm in a trance. Thank you. So the second part to our exploration was this bundle of fun objects up here. So these are fidget toys and sound objects collected over many years. Please come and get some and find ones you want to play with and explore the possibilities of making sound with them, of feeling them, and we will finish with a little bit of a fidget jam.
Okay.
So if anyone wants me to pass you one, I'm happy to, but please come and explore these objects and see if there's one that takes your fancy. There are many things to play with. Many textures, many types of tiny sounds or loud sounds you might be able to make with them. Things that you can rub up against other things. Things you can drop inside other things. Feel free to grab a couple.
I'm ready for a nap. I was ready for a nap.
The music's made us all sleepy.
Thank
And those with scooters and chairs, we were putting things on the floor that you can run over, which makes really interesting sounds. Or put things to the handles if you don't want to use your hands. You can put things on, you can run things over. I don't know if you're interested in any of that.
Crinkly.
Love the texture and the feeling, rub it against things, try it against the floor or the chair or, I don't know, you can do.
I'll try not against the wall.
So many things to do.
My
Yeah,
favorite one.
very also wonderful. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, very subtle.
Does that actually go in something?
Just which feels so.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's got a specific, you kind of use it a certain way, yeah.
You can tell
You
me
can
to
actually
play.
combine it.
Oh, that's lovely. You can get less. Yeah. I don't want to touch the glass either.
Yeah, you can also just feel the sensation of it. Crap was really enjoying the feeling on her head of the paper.
It's good. Okay, hold on a second. We were also talking about Lena's Walker as a dance as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
Different parts of the glass? Does it make different sounds? There you go. There was a glass that played music to see everything music It was. Magnificent. They're very amazing. Oh, yeah. You got some tongue on. There's a yeah. Do you want to get store?
I have a very quick little score we can try if you're interested. It's called 3 Sound and Silence. So that's what you have in your repertoire. You're allowed to make sound 3 times, and then you also have to work with silence. That's the only rules. But the other thing is we're making this piece of music together, so we have to listen to each other.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to find a spot to put your 3 sounds and your silence. Right? Does that make sense? So we're all 3 times making some sound, and that's all. And 3 times we're going to try and, think about silence as a thing we can also use. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
You want us to start? We find a beginning together. There it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, so believe it or not, in about 15 minutes we open for the reception, so there will be other people arriving. There will be supper coming, so please, you're all welcome to stay. Sorry? That's what's up here. I'm just outside. You've been walking through it all day.
You're sticking around?
I noticed that
Because I'd like to show you my
Raha,
work.
do you want to just wave? Raha's just arrived, one of the artists as well, and Ali, of
Only have
course.
10 minutes.
And, oh, thank you for the
They're going to give us a
I'm
break.
one of the artists as well, as is Joanna. So please feel free to chat with anybody. Oh, and Matt, of course.
And Asian.